I take it this opportunity, given the title of the open platform, is what are we doing at Yale that's open? And the answer, as I said in my introduction, is over the course of the last 10 years, we've gone from something that was almost totally closed to a considerable amount of openness and a considerable amount of learning in the process. And fortunately, the library has been very much a leader on campus of multiple projects. And as it says in my notes, that ranges from things like our courseware server, for which we've provided a number of library integration steps, to our most recent projects involving preservation repository work. The other thing that has happened is that the university has recently created a position of Office of Digital Infrastructure and Architecture, which is largely seated with work that began in the library and now is being taken into this campus-wide environment. Needless to say, we're dependent on things besides our ILS system to accomplish this. And one of the messages I'm going to repeat is, however universal you think the universal management system is, it can't cover the world. And at the same time, what the demand is that the world be at the fingertips of the student or the faculty member or the staff. And I'm going to show maybe some examples of the fact where you can't really be in anything. You have to be connected to a lot of things. That's where I think it's very good that you're doing the snippets and the deep links and things like that, because you can't batch load everything. You can't normalize everything. You really have to be in a kind of an adaptable environment. And as UCLA has experienced, it's more a matter of what do you need to do to make things work well together than how do I put everything in one place. So let me think. One of the things is the word infrastructure. There are a lot of things that don't really belong uniquely to an application. They're partly the assumption that it's going to be there regardless. And one of our key building blocks is our central authentication service, which was originally developed for our student clusters, just to verify that you had access to a personal computer. And we've since generalized it. We've also since open sourced it, and in fact moved it into an Apache special interest group, so it's not even primarily maintained by Yale anymore. But it has the role that says, well, every application out there needs to know who's using it, who's trying to use it, and what their status is relative to the institution. And we've got a server which you can redirect any application to that will challenge a user for their identity and return to the application a whole list of attributes that it can then interrogate, including, for example, are you faculty, student, staff, even which department you're associated with. So thereby we can do things like assure that the people who get the reports that are on the financials are the people who are working on that. And conversely, we can say things like just has access. So, and that's implemented as a web service. So the experience of working with that and integrating it in, and by the way, again, to Voyager's credit, in the early stages of our implementation, one of our demands was, well, Voyager has to talk to our authentication system and not rely on their authentication system. And together we worked out an interface that allows that to happen. And we have since implemented that. And one of the very first programs that Yale made available through VUGM at the time was, in fact, I guess what you would call now an adapter that will allow anybody who wants to use the CAS authentication system to substitute that for their Voyager authentication system. At the other end of the scale, or just the next thing that comes to my mind, is that we're very, very satisfied with the Tomcat environment. There's lots of things that you can do in Tomcat that are, again, independent of whether the application is Web Voyage or one of our staff applications or one of our RSS feeds. It's all the same, and you get to do it once, and you don't have to mess with thousands of different configuration files. So Tomcat is very much a tool, and I'm probably preaching to the crowd, but I'm also giving credit where credit is due, to realize that that's something that it needs to be part of your plan.